What's up, everybody? My name is Paddock, and today I'm going to show you how to use dynamics to make everything you play sound a whole lot better. Using dynamics correctly can completely transform the way everything you play sounds. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you 4 really simple rules that will add direction to your musical lines and really help shape your phrases. So let's get started. The first rule is when the notes go up, get louder. As you can hear in that example, I'm gradually getting louder with those ascending notes. Now, I'm not doing anything super drastic. I'm just pushing the phrase forward by pushing those notes up a little bit louder. If I don't use dynamics and I don't get a little bit louder on that phrase as the notes are going up, this is what it would sound like. That kind of sounds like someone is shouting at you, and that musical line has no direction. It's just sitting there flat. So you want to make sure that when the notes are going up, you get a little bit louder. Now, rule number 2 is the exact opposite of that. When the notes go down, you want to get a little bit softer. As those notes are going down, I'm getting a little bit softer, and it's helping to pull that phrase back and make the line really come alive. Take a listen to it one more time. So that line has a whole lot of shape to it. Now, when I talk about line and I talk about these first 2 dynamic rules, when the notes go up, get louder, and when the notes go down, get softer, I call that following the line or following the musical line. So basically, you're following the direction of the notes. So if you just had a pencil and you would draw a line from one note to the next, you could see it going up and down. That's what I mean when I say follow the line. And if you dynamically follow the line, your musical lines are going to have a lot of shape and contrast to them, and it's going to make you sound really musical. Now, these rules aren't 100% of the time rules. These are generally correct rules, but obviously getting a little bit louder when the notes go up or getting a little bit softer when the notes go down are going to be specific to each song that you're playing. But as a general rule, when those notes go up, get louder, and when the notes go down, get softer. The third rule is when you have a long note, do something with it. So when we're talking about long notes, we're talking about anything that is a half note or longer. And when I say do something with it, that means you're either going to get a little bit louder or a little bit softer. And that is 100% dependent on where it is in the song and the specific song that you're playing. So there isn't a automatically get louder or automatically get softer rule. It all depends on what's going on around it. So here is an example of me shaping my phrase by doing something with the long note. In the example of Summertime, you can hear that I am using my dynamics on the long notes to either push into the next note or pull it back. So I'm getting a little bit louder on some of them I'm pulling it back and getting a little bit softer. So it all depends on if you're pushing into the phrase or you're pulling back. Another thing that we can do with a long note is hit it hard, bring it down, and then bring it back up. So we just want to do something to shape that long note so that it's not just sitting there stagnant. Take a listen to my example of Summertime again and pay really close attention to how I'm pushing into some notes and pulling back from others. So I'm really using my dynamics to shape that phrase on the long notes. If I don't use dynamics, it sounds really harsh, like someone is yelling at you. So you want to make sure that you're using dynamics so that you can shape your phrase and add contrast into all of your musical lines. The fourth and final rule is if you repeat something, do something with it. If you repeat something, do something with it. So that means if you are playing the same note several times in a row, either get louder with it or get softer with it. If you are playing the same phrase or the same little lick over and over, either get a little bit louder with it or a little bit softer with it. Again, this rule depends specifically on what's going on in the music and the song that you're playing, but if you repeat something, do something with it. As you could hear in that Charlie Parker tune, My Little Suede Shoes, it has a whole bunch of repeated notes. And I'm just gradually pushing it forward as I repeat the notes. I'm not doing anything super drastic. I just want to push the notes forward a little bit. If I don't do that, those notes become very stagnant and you lose the shape of the phrase. Listen one more time as I push and pull these repeated notes forwards and backwards. If I don't use the dynamics and I don't do something with these repeated notes, super harsh, doesn't sound musical at all. Now, this rule also applies to phrases or licks. So in the Miles Davis song 4, it has a 3-note repeated lick for the first part of the melody. So I'm playing that 3-note lick, and each time I repeat it, I get a little bit louder. And you can hear that musical line move forward because I'm gradually getting louder with my dynamic. If I don't do that, again, it just kind of sounds like I'm shouting at you, and the musical phrase loses all of its direction. So if you want to drastically improve the way everything you play sounds and add a lot of shape and texture to your musical lines, make sure that you get louder when the notes go up, get softer when the notes go down. If you have a long note, do something with it. And if you repeat something, do something with it.